Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of All the Mod 6. I hope everyone is doing great today. I know that I am. We're jumping right back into our game save here. Nothing new to catch you up on, but for those of you who have been keeping up with this series, you guys know that we did go through and finish out the Twilight Forest. An awesome run through of it. One of the big things though I did take away from it, it would have made more sense if we had done it earlier on in our playthrough, but ultimately the Twilight Forest wasn't added in until we were already much progressed through our playthrough, so there was nothing really we could do about that. So it is what it is. Now, as those of you who have been keeping up with the channel know, that this series is ultimately coming to a close. We have started a new series here on the channel. It's called Enigmatica. I mispronounce it every time, I know. Enigmatica 6, which is pretty fun thus far. There's a lot of stuff we're going to be doing over there, a lot of building we're going to be doing, and I'm super excited to get into it. Now, as you guys know, we've been doing a lot on All the Mod 6 since we've started. We've been backlogging a bunch of resources. There's been a lot of things on our plate that we've wanted to do, but a lot of the stuff ultimately becomes end game and beyond, honestly, things to achieve. And we don't have the ability to get there unless we literally just let the game run for days and days on end, which I don't really want to do that. I mean, I want to be able to enjoy things. So we are going to wrap this up. Again, it's going to be maybe a couple more episodes here, maybe at the very least probably 2, because I have something on the plate for today that I would like to run through and do, which is something that we were planning on doing and we never really got around to it. And that's down here in our kind of like automated food area that we had set up to get our bacon cheeseburgers up and going. As you see, we have our bacon cheeseburger stand right here, or automation for our crafting, and we have a bunch of them. We have over 6,000 bacon cheeseburgers, so we're perfectly fine on the food front there. And we're making a big backlog of everything else, which is pretty cool to see. But anyway, we had a couple other things here too. We have our industrial foregoing stuff over here, where we have our mob slaughter factory, getting us our pink slime, which is utilized for some of the upgrades that you make in the dissolution chamber. Well, we're going to continue on that path. And what I would like to do is get more into industrial foregoing. Because I believe that there is the mob duplicator now. Mob crusher, slaughter factory, duplicator. That is what we want, the mob duplicator. And that is what I want to try to get up and going today, because we never got around to it before. So let's start on that path. Let's see what we're missing. Ultimately, we're not missing too much. We are going to need a diamond gear. Let's grab one of those bad boys just like so. We're also going to need a simple machine frame, which we're going to have to make in here with some latex, not too bad. And then we just need a pity machine, not too bad. Pity machine frame, I should say. Let's get the simple machine frame populated into our bookmarks as well. And let's see, what else do we need? So we're going to need a bunch of this stuff here. Oh, actually, we just made that. So we'll get our nether. Right, we'll get that. That is for the next tier. And then we need plastic. And for whatever reason, plastic never pulls down properly. I don't know why. So we're just going to grab a stack of it. Now, we are going to need latex in here. I don't know what we do have in here. Okay, we do have latex, which is actually pretty convenient. And then that is the other thing. You can't populate into the actual setup itself. So I'm going to try to remember how it went. I know we just looked at it. There we go. We did get it. We'll let this run up, and that is going to get us our simple machine frame, which will allow us then to get our advanced one there, right? Advanced, yeah. So let's grab all of this stuff. So we'll grab our netherite strips, our gold ingots, our diamond gear, and we already got our plastic, so this should be everything we need. Let's take one last glance at it. So the gold's going to be on the bottom. Easy enough for us to do. Gold, netherite scraps, plastic, and the diamond gear. And that should work for us. What's going on here? Is it freaking out for some reason? Can we reset this? We might need to reset this. Ignored. Okay, how much, oh, we need pink slime. That's what it is. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me switch this out. All right, guys, we got it up and going here. It took me a hot second to get enough pink slime. We needed 500 millibuckets, and I only had 400, so it just took me a second to get some additional pink slime going. But there we go. we did get our advanced machine frame, so we should be able to make our mob duplicator. Now, if you guys are curious on how to make pink slime, I can go through it very quickly with you. So you do need a mob slaughter factory. From this, you just got to give it, well, you don't necessarily need to give it power, but power definitely helps the progression of it. So you get this up and going, and then all you got to do is put a mob in front of it. I think there's different amounts of pink slime you get per the mob that you put in there. You could get like cows, pigs, etc., etc. Sheep work as well. You put it in front of here, it'll get you liquid meat, which you could actually utilize in a food sense, but it'll also give you pink slime. And that pink slime can either be extracted directly from here, if that is what you wanted to do, into, let's say, I don't know, a mechanism tank or whatever it may be, or you can extract it over to a fluid encapsulator where you can then put a bucket in here and actually get it. Now, the only downside to this part is you have to have a bucket every single time. Whereas if you pump it directly into a tank, it'll just accumulate over the period of time, and then you can kind of pull it out as needed or direct it to a different location. Like if we wanted to just have it pipe directly over to this dissolution chamber, we could do that. Now, the only thing with the dissolution chamber is obviously, as you guys saw, it bumps back and forth between, needing latex and needing pink slime. So that's why I have two different setups here. I have one tank for pink slime and one tank for latex. So and I just go back and forth, and as you guys saw here, I just come in here and I either direct it to push or pull, depending on if I want to push out the liquid that's currently in there or pull it in. So that's pretty much the setup for that. So anyways, let us get this going here. We should have everything we need to get our mob duplicator. Now, honestly, it has been a hot minute since I have done this, so this is probably going to go right here. We're going to get this set up because I do want it to obviously be able to duplicate. Now, it's pretty straightforward on how it works. All we have to do, we have a mob imprisonment tool here. All we got to do is grab a mob, and we got to throw it in here, just like so, and it'll duplicate it. Now, it does take, I think, liquid essence is what it takes, if I am not mistaken. And in order to get that, you want a mob crusher. This is what we need, and we do need another advanced machine frame to get there. That is one thing that I'm not a big fan of, honestly, that they've gone through and changed, is the is how you have to go through this process like so. But obviously you guys understand what we're gonna have to do then, so we're gonna have to plop this bad boy on here. I'm gonna put that down. Oh, we got pink slime in there currently. Okay, I messed that up. Let's grab this again and put that on top. That should grab all of it out of there, and it has. Grab it again, throw it on the ground because we don't need it, and we'll put the latex on there. It should fill up once we shift this over to pull. Yep, there you go. It's filling up just fine. And then we need to go through this whole entire process again to get everything that we need. So we got our pity machine frame. Now we need our simple one. We are going to need a gold gear in order to go through this. Move some of this stuff off our inventory. We really don't need actually any of that. Grab that, and then we'll also need a gold gear like I showed you guys before. Gold gear, and then we'll go through this process. So I'll get this all wrapped up, and I'll bring it back once we're ready to craft up the machine. All right, guys, and we are good to go. We can get our mob crusher up and going just like so. Not too shabby. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw it in the wall over here. I think this makes the most sense for it. Now, realistically, probably what I'll do is, actually, I might have it bump out. I might actually have it be right here. We do need to kind of bump it around here. I don't know. Can we use this for it? No. I always get confused on the wrenches. We have so many different wrenches and hammers, different things like that, that I always get mixed up on what works on what. There we go. I believe, yeah, the immersive engineering one pretty much works on all of them. I do think there is like a hammer or crescent wrench that you can get for this mod for industrial foregoing, but I just don't know it offhand. So, and I think we're fine as is. So this is going to obviously be extremely tiny, a very, very tiny setup here, but it should serve its purpose. So I'm going to just take some things out here, and then all we need to do is get some piping so we can pipe some things back and forth. So let's go to mechanism here, and we shall grab our ultimate capacity pipe. I think that would work the best. We'll have it just come underneath like so, and we should have just enough to pipe over to it. Now, the other thing this is actually going to need is a little bit of power, but I believe we can actually just place it right on top of it and it'd be fine. So we shall do that because I don't think that there's a wireless upgrade, if I'm not mistaken. If we go to industrial, there's speed, range. Yeah, I don't think there's like a wireless like connectivity. There's efficiency and things like that. But yeah, if I'm not mistaken, there isn't anything that we can do with that. So okay. Anyway, so this should be good to go. Actually, we might have to well, no, because we can push and pull, so it should be fine. So we want the essence to be pushed out the bottom, and we want the essence on this side, which is right here, to be pulled in from the bottom. So pull. Now, I don't know if it necessarily makes a difference, but you know, it should be fine. This is going to show the working area, which is actually interesting that it's up that high and it doesn't do the one that's directly below it. That's very weird. Why doesn't it do that base one? Why is it offset so much? Is it meant to be hidden one more down? Because obviously you would want it to be on the main level here. So, okay, well, let's move it down then. So if I put it like here, and then I guess I'll like carve out some space. This is very strange, guys. Very, very strange. Okay. Stone, please. Thank you. And then I want to be able to give this power, so we'll kind of give it some space. But yeah, like if I show the working area, it's right on that level, which is what we want it on. So I guess that's where we have to leave it, and it kind of just works through that. I don't know if that's like the purpose of it now, is like they've shifted it so it does offset by that one. But I mean, hey, it is what it is. It's kind of nice. Let's go to the power mod. Obviously, we want to give this bad boy some power. And I'm going to give it a decent amount here. It obviously doesn't need that much, but I am fine with giving it that much. Now, we also shifted this, so we'll just want to adjust it. So what side is this facing? This is facing, that's a new word, east. So we want the east to be pulling in the essence. But that should be good. It's only in this section though, so we are going to want a range upgrade. We did just see those bad boys. So if we go to industrial foregoing, we are going to want a range. Actually, no, we don't need a range on that one. We'll want a range on this one, the mob crusher. That's definitely what we're going to want. So I think we're actually fine on this. Let's turn it off, and then let's grab some grass here, because obviously we want to cover this bad boy up just like so. And we can put this grass away. And then the mob crusher is where we're going to want to adjust our working area for. So we're going to definitely want some range upgrades on that. Now we only needed to go out, what, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish roughly. So let's see what we can do in terms of a range upgrade tier 5. It's not too bad. It does take some latex, but I think that's exactly what we're going to need. Now, we did put one over here in this guy, a range upgrade of 8, which allows us to do this whole working area. I thought I had another sheep here. I guess I don't have another sheep here now. Actually, that might be too much. We could even bump it down to like a tier 3. The ranges are kind of weird on how they work, so just keep that in mind. Do you guys want to... There you go. I thought I had more sheep in there. I know I took some out to get some pink slime, but I thought for whatever reason I had more in there, but I guess I don't. So let's push all of that pink slime out of this because we don't need it for these range upgrades. We are going to want our latex though. So let's get that put up there. We're going to pull in the latex just like so. I guess we'll start with a lower tier. So we need some bone meal, some redstone, and glass, which I think we can pull everything in just like so. Yeah, for whatever reason, it didn't want to put in all of our... Oh, do I have a sheep in here? I do have a sheep in there. That's why. Okay. That's where the other sheep went. I was like, wait a minute. I thought I had more. There we go. Okay. So, if I'm not mistaken, it was something like that, and then that, right? Yep, there we go. So that'll give us a 3 range upgrade, which I don't know if that's going to be enough or not, but we will see. Again, it's kind of funky with how, like, the ranges work. So we'll give it a nice try here. So we got a range upgrade of 3. We'll throw it in there. And actually that's more than enough. That is like plenty. It actually kind of comes out a little bit too far. We probably could bump it down to a lower tier. How much latex do we have? We got plenty of latex in there. So let's go back to industrial here. And I don't know, let's try a tier 2. That's not too bad to make actually. So tier 2, we'll grab everything 4 except for the redstone. Again, I don't know why it just doesn't like pulling in the redstone or those slots. It doesn't like pulling in both of them for some reason. So there we go. We'll get that because the tier 3 is not bad. It'll get us everything we want, but if we can do it with a lower tier where it's not overhanging as much, that would be fine as well. Now, obviously, this is a very small working space, and you can kind of adjust it as needed. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. The 2 was perfect with the offset and how it's going to work. So actually, there we go. We have our exact working space that we want, so we can hide the working area and be good to go. Now, obviously, the other thing we're going to want to do is tie this into our refined storage system, which should be very easy to do because we should have it like somewhere in here. Do we not? I know I have it in the wall somewhere for this bad boy right here. It actually might be up and, yeah, it might be up and over somewhere. Always the tricky thing, finding where you placed it. There it is. So we can just have this kind of stair step down. So let's go to refined storage. This will make the most sense to do, is just have it tied directly in. Craft up, let's get like 20 of those bad boys. And we are going to get, what do we need? An importer, I believe, is what we're going to want to have. We do need more of those, obviously. And then let's see, can we get a good importer? Like, let's see, we could do a creative one. I believe we have everything to do it, so let's just kind of kick that off, and that'll run. And we'll just have this come down like so. Stair step it over. We'll fill in the gaps that we don't need to have open, and pull this all the way down here. And then this will just tie in directly to the back. Once that is crafted up, perfect. Creative importer, we'll throw that back there. It should be good to go right off the bat. We shouldn't have to do anything with it. And then just tie it in like so. And then obviously I need to fix the walls here because these are not. These have to be this dark oak planks. And bada bing, bada boom, we are good to go. However, the one thing that you want to keep in mind is your essence. You need essence in order to get everything going. Now, actually, I'm not 100% good. I do need another power gate here. So let's grab another gate. We'll just throw that directly on top of there, like so. And it should be good. I think these guys can hop up on here and kind of move around, but it should be fine. But we obviously then need to kick things off, and obviously we'll want to block that section off there. Do we have dark oak? We do, and we don't need that. We'll grab our sheep, put that there. But we are going to want some stuff to get this going because we don't have any essence. You want essence. Now, if we look at essence, I believe there's ways that we could convert, right? Essence. Yeah, we have essence of knowledge. It's not it. Memory essence, industrial foregoing essence. Here we go. This is what you would want. Machine output. I don't know if there's a way that we can make it easier. If you used a dissolution chamber, you can actually put it into bottles. A casting table from Tinkers, if you took essence and you can make it that way, or a fluid encapsulator, you can utilize it like that. But I think the only way to make it is via this, actually. Which is a little bit of a bummer. I was kind of hoping that there was other ways to make it, and it really just doesn't seem like there's a way. Now, if you had Bottle O Enchanting, what can we use that to make essence in any way that is utilized with this? It doesn't look like it. You can get this knowledge, right? But that's not really what we want. Ooh, that actually looks pretty good. A mixer to make potions of ancient knowledge. You can use it in here to make an experience pump, and then the modifiers on that. So no real good way to do it. So honestly, probably your best bet would be to just populate some mobs into here. Now, I am a little bit curious. Is there a way that we can make, like, just get some mobs going in here? We could just get a spawner going and put a spawner in here. Do we have a spawner? That we do. Mine Colony's pirate spawner, but we do have a bunch of these eggs that we could put in here. So we could just get something very easy spawning in here, and then killing it off. We have Enderman, Wither Skeleton, Mirrormix, a Piglin, oh, that's the Twilight Forest guys, which we could put in there. Creeper, definitely no. I guess we could try that, and we could see. So, what we'll want to do is probably place this, which is a little bit annoying because we're centered here, but the roofing isn't centered, I believe. Is it not? Yeah, it's not, which is kind of annoying as to how I set this up, because this is centered here. So we could try that and see if this will spawn in anything, because we do have those pirates that could spawn. I believe we can switch these. I think that guy died. Did he die? Oh, that's the other thing too, is we can't see below. That is another thing that we're going to want to keep an eye out for. So we might want to get an access tunnel down there. So let me get an access tunnel set up just so we are able to get down there to see what's going on. And then I'll bring you guys on back once we're at a little bit more stable spot with this. All right, guys, so we got everything up and going here. Let me show you how we have it set up. It's a little bit crazy, I won't lie, maybe a little bit over the top. But so what we ended up doing was we got a spawner up here, because pretty much what I was trying to explain before is you need a backlog of essence to actually spawn in the mob that you want within the mob duplicator. So you need to build up a little bit to offset it at first. Now, realistically, in the past, what I've done in order to do this is I've integrated this into our mob farm. So then our mob farm, like if you put, what is it called? Like cursed soil. Let's see, is that in here? Cursed, which maybe it's not, or a tier. Is it tier? Maybe it's not in here. But in the past, that's what I've done, is pretty much built it in a mob farm where mobs would spawn in. Those mobs that naturally spawned in then would be killed, generating a backlog of essence, and then I could put whatever mob I wanted in the mob duplicator to have it work, and then also just build like a tank or something to keep that essence backlogged as well. Well, now for this one, we don't necessarily need to do that. Because we can utilize the spawner and apotheosis, I believe is the mod, in order to upgrade these. So if you guys remember, we did this with our other mob farm, but you can get a spawner up and going here. So the easiest way to do this, to look at this information, is through here. So you can get a spawner from out in the world. You use Silk Touch on it, you can break it, you can actually hold on to it. And that's what we have done. We have grabbed that 2 separate times for our mob farm and now for this. Now with this and utilizing, I believe it's apotheosis. Yep, apotheosis. You can actually use different modifiers on the spawner itself to change different attributes. So you can decrease the minimum spawn delay. So what the delay is on them spawning, like the minimum amount of time, you can bump it down even more. And then you can also decrease the maximum spawn delay. So pretty much there, I'm just hitting everything today. So pretty much there's a window of time that a mob can actually spawn from a spawner. And when you add both of these attributes, some sugar and multiple clocks, you can actually change it. So shifting it from, let's say it being hypothetically 1 minute to 5 minutes, you could shift it down to 1 second to 5 seconds is that period where it could spawn in at, which is pretty cool. You can also increase the spawn count with fermented spider eyes, which is really nice. So you're not just getting 1 or 2, you might be getting like 5 or 6, depending on how many you put in there. You can increase the max nearby entities. I mean, okay. You can increase the required player range. That's really good. Increases the spawn range if you want them to spawn out in a broader area, which would be pretty cool as well. You can ignore the spawn conditions, You can also ignore nearby players if you didn't want nearby players to affect it. Ignore spawn caps. This is actually disabled, so you can't utilize that. Enable redstone control using a redstone comparator. We've done that. Pretty easy to do. And then finally, if you use a spawn egg on it, you can actually change it to whatever mob you want it to be. And that's what we have actually done. So we have it set up to be this kobold from the Twilight Forest. It was the least hostile one that I had, so I figured I would throw him in there. We have a wireless redstone link set up from Create. These things are great. I have it set up over there so we can get it going. And then I've added in a couple more fences around here just to kind of encapsulate things and make sure that the mobs aren't jumping out and attacking us. Now, we could obviously add more in. You could glass this off or do whatever you wanted to do. You can make this way bigger if you wanted, but honestly, this is pretty efficient in itself. So if we come down here, this is our little access panel area. I just dug it out, added some lights, and that's pretty much it. Now, the other thing too is I'm not setting up a tank or anything for our essence, because right now everything is backlogged. We have 8 buckets in here. I don't remember what exactly that guy stores. I think he stores, 32 buckets, and he doesn't have anything in there. But this one is already backlogged, and it's starting to backlog into the mechanical pipes itself. And now these mechanical pipes are awesome because they hold a lot. Now, we are doing the top tier here, and that is why it's going to be pretty awesome. But this holds a capacity of 512 buckets backlogged. Now, I do get confused on this because I don't know if it is per pipe length that it holds that. I would assume, and I've always been under the assumption that is what it is. So each pipe length, each block length is 512 buckets, or if that is a totality of 512 across the board. Again, I would like to think it's per block length, because then you're adding it up quite a bit here. I mean, you have 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, right? 4 right there. And then if it's 500 each, it's 2 million, right? Wait, 500 buckets each, right? Hang on, let's look at this again. Yep, 512 buckets each. So that's 2,000. A little over 2,000 buckets will be backlogged just in the piping itself. So not too bad, but I might have gone a little bit overboard with the spawn delay on this, because if I turn this on, these guys just, they just spawn in so quickly, and they do end up dying relatively quick. Now we'll get some that actually do spawn or they'll fall on the edge of the fencing here. I'm gonna turn this off because it's probably extremely annoying to hear these guys go every single time. I think we could get a muffler if I'm not mistaken, right? Like, isn't there a muffler that we can add in? Let's see, muff. Is that, I mean, wouldn't the muffler, wouldn't this say in it? Reduces noise. That's wither death. Muffler upgrades for modular routers. I really don't know what modular routers are. What are these? Modular routers manual first edition. Bulk item filters, item routers. Interesting. Okay, this looks pretty cool. Anyway, I'm getting distracted, but it is kind of loud. You know what I could do is I could turn this on. And it's one thing I always forget about is we can come in here to our built-in muffler and turn this off. So we would just have to kind of figure out which one. Here it is. Yeah. There we go. And then we would have to figure out which one the death one is. But there we go. We turned off their ans, so their death sounds are off. We'll get a little bit of ambient noise from them, but it's not too bad. But yeah, these guys are just going to keep dying. I don't know if we're necessarily even getting output from this. I'm not 100% sure. Like, if I... okay, we are getting output from this. And we just want to leave this as all enabled. Okay. So I guess it'll just start flowing into here and we'll start getting stuff from these guys. But the bigger thing, like I said, is the essence. And it's backpiling. I mean, look at that. The backlog is getting there. We have 45 buckets in there, which is awesome. But what we can then do is turn this off, right? And the whole idea behind this is to spawn in mobs that you normally wouldn't be able to necessarily easily get a spawn egg from. Because obviously you could use a spawn egg on them. and get them in. Now, I do have one item that I've been holding on to for some time, but I don't know if I want to spawn it in because I'm a little bit terrified that it's going to cause chaos. But that is a fire dragon. Yeah, I have him stored in our imprisonment tool here, but I'm a little bit worried just because I think he was a relatively big boy that I did capture, and they do have a lot of health, and I don't think our mob crusher is going to be able to handle that. So what I'm thinking instead is we'll do something that we realistically would probably want to be duplicating, actually. So you know what? Let's go back to the basics, right? We had our sheep farm set up here, and we need some more sheep. So first and foremost, let's turn this bad boy off. Only run with a redstone signal. So that should not run. And then what we will do is we'll come up here, we will grab our sheep, and then we'll come down here, throw them into our mob duplicator, and then this should actually output some sheep for us. Now, it is a little bit slow, and what we'll probably also want is another mob imprisonment tool to move these guys once they get in here. But we will take you, we will put you over here, and we'll just keep doing the same. So we'll just keep grabbing sheep, and we will keep putting them over here. Now, I think a range upgrade actually would be useful because it's just going to keep spawning on this one location. And really, it probably would make sense to have them spread out a little bit more because there's no guarantees that these guys are even going to move, right? You want them to move so that more can spawn in there. I guess we could try to spawn it. No, I don't want to even try to spawn a dragon. Like, I'm so terrified. It's just going to destroy everything. It would be cool to take this setup and go somewhere else and try it. But for what we have currently, I'm just a little bit too cautious of it. So, but yeah, there we go. That is pretty much it to get the mob duplication up and going. And look at that right off the bat. We already have so many more sheep in here. Didn't I put a black sheep in here? Where's the black sheep? I thought there was a black sheep. I don't know what happened to him, but hey, it is what it is. But then we could turn this bad boy back on, and then it'll keep running. And we could always switch that out if we wanted to. We have plenty of different spawn eggs that we could put in there if we really wanted, like pirates, plague doctors, skeletors, creepers, elder guardians, gas, piglins, yeah, and so on and so forth. There's a good amount in here, and we could always get some other spawn eggs if we really wanted to. But we could also integrate this then into our mob slaughter factory if we wanted to get pink slime production going a little bit higher, but I don't think we're gonna do that. If anything, maybe what we'll do in the next episode is take this setup, just grab what we need off of it and take it to a location that we could try to spawn in a dragon. It'd be kind of cool. But anyways, guys, we're going to wrap up the episode there. I hope you all enjoyed this very simple and basic way to get a mob duplication farm up and going, along with just a mob farm in general, utilizing that spawner if you really wanted to. If you did enjoy this episode, definitely leave a like down below. It helps me out so very much. If you are new here and you do want to follow along, hit that subscribe button and bell notification. It'll let you know every single time a new episode is posted here on the channel. We do stream over on Twitch on Mondays and Fridays at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Well, between that time and about 5 p.m. Sometime in that time frame, we typically go live. So if you're interested in checking out a live stream, the link for that is in the description down below. And if you do want to stay up to date with everything that is going on here on the channel, as well as over on the stream, I typically post updates over on our community Discord. And that link is in the description down below as well. Feel free to hang out over there. And keep up to date. So other than that, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I appreciate it so very much, and I will catch you all in the next episode. Take it easy.